Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is not necessarily a how to do brakes on a Nissan Pathfinder. It's more when you're going through the process of doing the brakes on your vehicle, light vehicles with hydraulic brakes, what you need to look out for and that sort of thing. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to go through a few bits and pieces with you guys, so you can successfully carry out a better brake job or pad swap, whatever it may be. As you can see, it's not supported just by hydraulic jack. For all you new players out there, don't just rely on hydraulic jacks. Have approved jack stands, and even for a bit of added extra safety, put the wheel under there. So now I've got the pads out. Definitely got our money's worth out of them. So the first thing we want to have a look at is brake line. We're looking for any leaks, cuts, perishes, little pinholes, all that sort of thing. Next we're looking for is these here, the caliper slides. We're wanting to know if they're going to move backwards and forwards freely. Now I have undone the bolt off of this one here, but I have checked that goes slides free. Next, what we want to have a look at is if around the piston, we want to have a look if there's any damage to the little dust seal or boot or whatever you want to call it for the piston off. Like, admittedly, I've left one bolt there. It's good practice not to let the caliper start swinging around on the hose here. You can use stuff like just a simple hook from the hardware store, just to hold it up wherever it may be and hold the caliper onto that, or worst comes to worst, a bit of wire or a zip tie, hefty zip tie, something like that. Also too, when you're pushing the piston back, you have little tools like this. There's some pistons that actually screw back in depending on what make and model you've got, and like there's different variations of this, from real fancy ones to cheap ones like this. I mean, this was only like $15 or $20, and that was ages ago. Failing that, you can use the old pad. You can use the old pad like so, and not that it's ideal, but use a big pair of multi grips or something like that just to push the piston back. Another thing too is when you're checking your brake fluid, you probably know it's down quite a lot. It's probably not best to top it up, because when you push the piston back, you're going to have all this brake fluid go everywhere out of the master cylinder reservoir, make a mess and stuff up paint and all that sort of thing. So just be wary about that. And also too, when it's good practice too, when you get put the new set of pads in that particular side, the caliper, pump the accelerator pedal till it goes hard again, and that way you've seated the pads and you're not going to get any overflow out of the master cylinder reservoir. And also too, when you go to take off, just to go for a quick drive around the block to bed in the new pads, you're not going to be jumping on the brakes going, oh crap, there's no pedal there, and you start frantically pumping the damn pedal. So it's just another thing to keep in mind when doing it. Rotor. There are disc rotor measuring tools and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes on the disc rotors you might get a measurement of the minimum thickness amount. Some rotors have them, some don't. Just all depends. And then also too, don't just look at the brakes. Look at the overall condition of. Just cast your eye over stuff like the shock absorber. Is that good? Spring, suspension stuff, ball joints. We'll get into that a little bit later on in another service video. I tend to like to check all those sorts of things with a pry bar and just manipulate them a little bit and just check. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.